Hello, BookTube. This is Alan. I'm here tonight with a tag. I was tagged by Bill Rutenberg. This is the book community tag. Uh, it's sort of a introduction of yourself, and you had the book newbie tag, which I did terrible on, miserable on that one. So hopefully this one will go better. The book community tag and the original tag was by Witch Kitten Reads. So I'd like to thank Bill Rutenberg for tagging me. First question is name. That'll be Alan Howard Braswell. The middle name is actually named after my, father's brother who passed away at a very young age. My and it's the reason why my father wasn't drafted into World War II, because he was the only surviving son of the family. He did go to a civilian conservation corps CCC camp up in Wyoming, of all places. He said one time that it's so cold up there that you need 2 batteries to start your car. Where are you from? Well, this has been questioned a lot because I talk about Russia so much at work that my coworker said, "Oh, you you were born in the wrong country," and that's probably true. I was. Dallas, Texas. Pets. Question 3 is pets. No, our dog passed away back in last year, and currently we don't have any pets. Question number 4, binge-worthy Netflix show. Well, I used to watch Netflix. I watched Stranger Things. I watched American Horror Story. I got to the Asylum, which was the second one. The first one was Murder House. So the Asylum was the second one. And then I watched Crown. I really enjoyed those 3. But the problem with and I dropped Netflix. And it was and then I went to Prime Video. And Prime Video, since I have an Amazon Prime account, I went to Prime Video, and there's a program on there called Life and Faith, based on the Vasily Grossman novel, which is very, very, very good. The best war documentary I've seen, war movie I've seen. So Life and Faith by Vasily Grossman. That's Fate, F-A-T-E. So, but I really can't. I really don't watch the entire series of season. I usually watch like 4 episodes of the season, or 5, and I really get tired of watching them. So that's my answer to that one. Oh, number 5, instant buy author. Well, I buy a lot of my books used, and so I really don't buy anything new. I used to buy a lot of Stephen King when I saw a Stephen King book for sale, maybe at the Walmart or Kroger or someplace like that, and I stopped doing that. Just a paperback. So I really don't have any particular instant buy authors. If I see one in the charity shops, thrift stores, that I like to read, like Bernard Cornwell, his series, or want to try somebody else series, I usually pick that up. Let's see, where are we? Hobbies besides books. Well, that reminds me of a pastor one time he said that he reads books, that he really doesn't have any other hobbies. And someone asked him one time, well, do you do you have any hobbies? And he said, well, I read books. He said, and the person said, no, do you have any hobbies? And the pastor said, you don't understand. And I used to used to play golf and play the clarinet, but I had given those up. And the answer is no, I don't have any hobbies other than books. Random facts people don't know about you. I know a lot about, I know a little bit about everything. And I did this by reading a lot. Investing, economics, legal terminology, legalese. I know how to write a draft or a legal draft, and I learned how to do that. I know how to do research for legal documents. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. It was I worked as a security guard at a food processing plant, and I worked on a Saturday morning, and it was in August, first Saturday, and HR, the people in HR, human resources, they don't show up on weekends. But this particular Saturday, they showed up. They were there. My coworker said, why is HR here? And so I had to explain to her, well, it's the end of the fiscal year. The fiscal year for businesses start in September. And that's why you have like the quarter, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, because they start in September rather than starting the first of the year. And so in August, they have to get ready for the end of the year report. And so they have to get all the information together. So the company I work for is located in Dallas. They have their main headquarters is in California, and they are also owned by Hormel Foods. So they have to get everything together, their assets, liabilities, and fill that out and send it to one in California so they can send the annual report to Hormel Foods and see are we going to keep this company or not? This company's not doing very good. And that leads to an annual report, which you hear about in the news in November and December, when companies release their annual reports. And so that's about so I just picked that up from reading a lot. Let me see, where are we? Favorite bookish nerdy swag. I used to pick up a lot of bookmarks, and these are just a few of the bookmarks I have. Living is hard, death is easier. There's no answers on the other side. This is a George Bush. This was from Mother's Cookies. Gave these out one time. George Herbert Walker Bush. This is several bookmarks here. And this is the some that I just picked out. There's a lot here. So there's a lot of bookmarks here. And I rarely use them. But a lot of times I'll have a book and I don't want to say this, I pin the pages. And so I I forget about picking up the bookmark. And also I pick up a lot of pins. So I have a whole bag of pins that I pick up. And I don't know if that's a nerdy swag or not, but every time I see a pin, I pick it up, especially at work. When there's somebody left a pin, I'll just pick it up. And I have hundreds of pins. One book series you love, but no one talks about, that would be, well, there's a lot of talk about Scandinavian crime thrillers, and a lot, you have the Joan Espo, you have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and you have other ones, but another one genre that hardly anybody talks about is Russian stories of crime and suspense. And this is Chekhov, Dostoevsky, Gogol, Gorky, Tolstoy, and this is hardly anybody talks about crimes that are in Russia, and crime authors. And let me go to the front here, and let me read you this. Many of the greatest Russian authors, including Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Chekhov, and Pushkin, produced crime and mystery fiction, a type of literature that was largely suppressed during the Soviet era because it did not glorify the state, but instead gave individual characters the significance that the USSR despised. With the fall of the Soviet Union, mystery writers have become some of the most successful novelists in Russia, and there's renewed interest, appreciation of the great crime classics of the modern era. Early era. So this is Russian crime authors that hardly anybody mentions. The Dostoevsky one is Murder from Crime, that and some is like Crime and Punishment. Dostoevsky's everybody's heard of, but nobody's heard of Chekhov's. There's 3 of them here. One's called the Bad Sleepy, the Head Gardener Story, the Swedish Match, Pushkin's The Queen of Spades, which is very, very good story. Vladimir Nabokov is Revenge, and Russian crime stories, which it does not get mentioned. And favorite new booktubers. Well, they would be new to a lot of people, but I came across these people. Emma Rosen would be one. She's an author, and she lives out in the UK. Murphy Naper. She is also an author. She does a good job on her channels. I like the way she talks about books and also other things like, well, what to look for, how to look for somebody that, like, you want to go to a channel that reads about romance, how to do the research, booktubers that read just history, booktubers that just read, fantasy, and so she'll go through that. And she takes a very adult approach to a lot of fantasy novels and basically what she reads. And Emma Rosen, I mentioned, Savage Reads. He's also in the UK. It's Savidge. Hope I got his pronounced his name right. It's contemporary fiction, more in the line of Eric Carl Anderson, and reads about the same books like Girl, Women, Other, and other books of that nature. And so, and so that's it for the book newbie tag. I mean, the community book community tag. And I'd like to thank Bill for tagging me. And y'all take care, BookTube.